So when I went and I looked at this car, I looked it over, pretty much knew what I was getting myself into. And I said, 31,000 original friggin' miles. I really hope that this thing is exactly as it is. And I went there and I looked over everything. I put my meter on the battery that China sent me, and it said the battery's low and I'm going to need a replacement. I know that. The tires are a little dry rotted, but they should be serviceable and got plenty of tread on them, and they didn't say anything during the inspection. And being that this car is not going to get very many miles put on it because the wife is going to continue to drive her car, and this will sort of end up being like a weekend car. Because, you know, you got to drive a car if you have it. You got to start it every couple, you know, every week or so. You got to exercise it a bit. Otherwise, the battery will go dead and all that kind of stuff. So I was expecting the worst. And I don't know how long this car had sat. It sat for a while. It sat for a long while. It sat for at least 6 weeks without being started. It could have been even longer. I don't know. All right, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Like I said, I got this car, I turned the key, and I was disappointed. It cranked over, but it sounded like Old Clanky, and I was already turned off. And then after it chugged over the third or fourth time, it fired up, and it ran like brand fucking new. At that point, any fear was relieved immediately. I was so thrilled with that. You gotta see this thing, so let's do it. I'm gonna set the phone up to record the engine, so you'll get the start from inside and out. But before we do it, let's see a quick clip of Old Clanky right before I got rid of her. So here it is. You'll hear kind of an Old Clanky crank, and then watch this. Can you frickin' believe that? Listen to that. Let me go outside. Brand fucking new. Not a shake, not a shimmer, nothing. Not a shimmy, pardon me. Nothing at all. Look at that go. I mean, there's little squeaks and rattles here and there. You know how that goes. Just as things get old and that, but it's, I don't know if you can even see right by the oil filter cap, there's a little like glimmer. That's how much it shakes with that light flicker right there. I don't even know what it's coming off of. Nothing. And this thing is running at like 1200 RPM because it's ice cold. So let me let it warm up for a bit, and then once it's all warmed up to idle, I'll, you know, we'll start recording again. And there she is at idle. Unfriggin' believable. 31 grams. Listen to that fucking thing purr. It only has a single exhaust, which kind of sucks, but it's not the powerhouse that the Big 6 is, where they went and I guess they decided they kind of needed dual tailpipes and that. It's not a true dual tailpipe because it's it splits off the two exhaust manifolds and then wires together, goes through the catalytic converter in that, and then wires back out to the two tailpipes. It's not true, but at least you get that sound and the, you know, the condensation out of the exhaust. It's not smoke, it's just the condensation because it's getting chillier out and that old cars have, you know. Yeah, I always have an idiot light on. Every damn car. It's not one thing, it's just low gas. Yeah, I need freaking gas. It's just about damn near out. But we have enough to go around the block and that. Because the E, of course, stands for enough. So let's take her for a spin. That was either leaves or twigs or something by the wheel, probably. So I got a traffic light now. Now I'm going to drive this kind of like an old lady. I'll step on it a little bit, but I'm babying the fucking thing. And we're ready going 40, 45, 50. Oh yeah, it just friggin' moves. Let me see if I can shut the window while I'm driving here. There we go. Shut one of them. I'll see if I can shut the other. It's kind of tough when you only got two hands and you need three. There we go. Look, it's Old Clanky again. Even with the yellow light in the corner. This car is friggin' amazing, and it feels just like, when I sit in it, it feels just like Old Clanky. It's sort of good in bad memories. It brings back the bad memories, of course, of Tiny Middle, but by the same token, it's actually more comfortable, I really do say, than the Big Six, with its leather seats and all that. I mean, I like all the amenities of that car, but there's something about the seats in this car that are super duper comfortable. And that's great because, you know, if we go on a road trip or something like that, we can take this thing. Not even 3,500. We're going 35. Nothing. You don't even need to step on it. You don't need to do anything. It just glides. Well, it can't glide. The Buick glides. It drives down the road, and it's nice and smooth. It's peppy. In fact, last night, after I picked the car up, the whiff had an appointment later that night. And I had the Big Six out because we needed one car for two people, and then each person takes a car, and she drove this. And she had an appointment like, 15 miles up north or something like that. I said, yeah, just take it. Just go. It's ours. I plan on driving this like an old lady, just like it has been. You know, we'll give it a few, little bit of a romp every now and again, but the whiff doesn't drive that way. And this is really, essentially the reason I got this is going to be a replacement for her car, but her car is not going anywhere anytime soon. Because like I said, it still runs and does its thing, and there's no real need to replace it. Nobody will buy it with the incessant check engine light. You know, I could get rid of it for like $500. Some guy will buy it, somebody will buy it. It still runs and drives, and I mean, hell, it's a great station car. You still even have AC. If you can find somebody who will inspect it, even with the light on, you can drive it. But what am I going to sell it for like that? $500? I'd rather have the car. It doesn't make sense. And with all the electronics and crap that they have in cars today, and the fucking infotainment systems to keep your eyes off the road, and all that bullshit, you don't need any of that crap. Even the Big 6 with its push-button ignition, this thing has got a friggin' key, you know? They didn't come out with that till '07. But it rides so smooth. I asked the wife when she came home, I said, so how was the car? She said, it drove like an absolute dream. She said, it's everything Old Clanky should have been. It's not clanky. It's really smooth. It's got a lot of pep when you step on it, and it fits like a glove. In other words, she just got in and drove like it's just another car. It's not like the Buick, which is a totally different animal entirely. It's not like a big boat or anything. It's a Camry. It's not a highly, you know, it's people buy Camrys because of their reliability, and I decided that it's probably worth my while to buy this, even with the bad luck I had with Old Clanky, because the mileage was so low, and it's a 6. It's everything that it should have been back then. I got Old Clanky with 26,000 miles on it. It was like a year or two old. It was a enterprise rental, and they say never buy rentals because you never know. But I felt that somebody would fly from here to, I don't know, Detroit, and they would get a car at Enterprise, and they would just get in and drive it. They needed a car to get around Detroit for whatever they're doing, and that was it, whether they're on business or not. Now I'm starting to talk like XJoe81X right through the stop sign. Excellent. Anyway, we're back. You know, I was going off on these tangents for an hour and change on nothing, so I apologize about that kind, but we're back. Now, let me put it in park. Nice. Oh, another little detail, just for funsies, and it might be a little hard to see with the sun. The temperature gauge reads just an inkling higher, I think, than Old Clanky did. I think Old Clanky was at the line right below where the needle is. But if you look, it's dead center. It's right where it needs to be. Oh, what a fucking car. What a fucking deal. Can't even hear it run. Unfucking believable.